Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to be here tonight. Thank you, Camille. I am having a little bit of technical difficulties, so I will need a little bit of assistance getting to know who the volunteers are for this session too. As Camille mentioned, it's going to be scary movies, and it's okay if you haven't seen some of these scary movies. I'm going to give a brief synopsis of what each one is about. But I will be asking for volunteers before I get into the question. So the movie that starts us off for the night is going to be Night of the Living Dead. And can I have just one volunteer to start us off? And if you're volunteering, I'm so sorry, I cannot tell.
Dorothy Jenkins raised her hand.
Who is it?
Dorothy Jenkins.
All right, Dorothy, are you ready for your question? So Night of the Living Dead is a movie that is about zombies. So zombies rise to walk the earth again if you've seen any zombie movie. So now that might seem like an old idea, but this movie inspired hundreds and hundreds of imitations. 40 years later, zombies have had comic books, other movies, and plenty more costumes to give it some credit. Unless you really like crappy movies, you probably don't get the whole zombie thing, but some people love them. Dorothy, my question for you, tell us about a runaway fad in fashion or entertainment that just made no sense to you at all.
Thank you for that question, Danny. I think the question that really made me feel agog when it came back in was the miniskirt. The miniskirt was sent to the back of the closet for a reason. There are so many full-figured women, and I'm speaking for myself. I don't believe we should wear miniskirts. I want to show everything that I've been blessed with. And I'm not talking about my speaking abilities. I know that I have fat ankles. I have huge thighs. And so the miniskirt should be banned from clothing stores throughout the world. And it's not because I don't like miniskirts. I've tried them at the back of the closet in a dark room where there's nobody there at home except for myself. And I turn around and I look at myself and I say, you look gorgeous in this miniskirt. However, I would not take the miniskirt outside of my doors because I don't think the miniskirt and I agree. When you sit down, there's not enough material for you to pull down. Therefore, I believe the miniskirt should not be mini. Maybe maxi, moni, grony, sony, conjoni, but definitely not something that should come back in fashion. Thank you very much for that question.
Thank you so much, Dorothy. I was trying my best not to laugh out loud and be obnoxious. That was a fantastic answer. The miniskirt, yes, can definitely be inappropriate because it's super tiny. All right, so up next, our next movie is going to be Saw. This is one of my favorite movies. And so do we have a volunteer for a question about Saw? And I apologize if we do have a volunteer, I'm not able to tell.
Okay, Gail Lover raised her hand.
Who is it?
Gail Lover raised her hand.
Dion?
Gail Lover.
Gail, I'm sorry, I apologize. Thanks, Gail. And so I'm going to give a description of Saw and then I'll ask you the question. So Saw is a very modern, scary movie about a crazed killer who puts people in tricky situations. These people must take huge risks if they want to escape their dilemma. In his weird way, the killer wants people to see how much they should value life and be grateful for personal freedom. So, Gail, tell us about a time when you felt good to be alive and free.
Thank you for that question, because anytime I'm above ground, I feel good all over. I can touch myself, speak, I can eat. I mean, I love this. Now, when you talk about scary movies, I don't do scary movies. I've had one a couple times. I've turned it on and off about 3 or 4 times when my daughters were growing up. They could never watch those movies with me. I was just agog with all the blood and the guts, and that seems to turn people on. The more blood, the more shooting, the more violence, the heads off, the arms off. I can't handle it because I can't sleep at night. Not at all. Nothing scary at all. The birds were enough for me way back in the 60s. That was enough. And it really wasn't scary. And then came the Mummy. Oh my gosh. The Mummy, oh, I just can't do it. I just cannot deal with it. Scary movies is not my forte. Just can't handle it. As I get older, it's even worse. So the Saw and all this bloody stuff, it makes movies, it makes money, and that's what people want. What about little things like Bambi? Does anybody watch Bambi anymore? How about Charlotte's Web? Doesn't that turn you on? Charlotte's Web? About Wilbur the pig? A pig, okay? A pig. He was a great character. He'll make a great movie, and you'll be able to sleep at night. Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Gail. I found that to be quite entertaining. I love scary movies, so it's another take on someone who doesn't appreciate them as much. But yes, I like the classics as well. Thank you so much for volunteering. And our final movie tonight that we're going to be talking about is the Amityville Horror. And this is an old classic. I'm not sure how many people have seen it, but I'll take a volunteer for the Amityville Horror. Any takers?
I think we can just call someone.
Okay, I cannot see the participants list. Let me check.
Cassie, would you be able to take the question?
Sure.
All right, Cassie, here it is. So after moving into their Long Island home, the Lutz family discovers what the real estate agent forgot to tell them. That's right, there was a series of murders in the house, and she mentioned one thing. So doesn't that just make you so upset to find that out after the fact? The question for you is, have you ever bought a house, a car, anything else that was basically a lemon or what you didn't expect it to be?
Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master. I was agog when I bought my first car.
Oh, good.
It was a Pontiac Le Mans. We went to the dealership to get this car. My grandparents said, "Oh, that's a great car. You have done great. You save your money, you're gonna get this car." That car was nothing but a lemon. I drove that car to Galveston. That car started smoking and putt. And I'm like, what's going on? So then I called my grandfather and I was like, you told me this car was great. So I just lost my money. The car was a old lemon. So I saved me some more money. Then I went to the Mitsubishi dealership on tonight. I just remember this like yesterday. Pull up in the dealership, the car just stopped on me in the middle of the street. So I asked the salesperson, what are you able to give me for this car? But luckily, he was able to trade the car. We was able to trade the car in for $2,000, more than what I paid for the car. That car was a piece of trash. Lord have mercy. I am so blessed. I don't have to ride in hoopties any longer. Back to you, Madam Table Topic. Thank you for the question.
Thank you so much. That is unfortunate that you've had not one, but 2 lemons. I find that to be, oh my gosh, awful. I can't even imagine spending my money on 2 different cars and just having them both not work. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating. I'll turn it back over to you, Camille.